Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Faerie, Fable, Librarians. So this afternoon, Katie and I are going to be talking about the Disney Plus series Willow, which is a direct continuation from the 1988 film of the same name.
Which was a great fantasy movie. You should go see it if you haven't seen it.
Yes, so we're going to be talking about the first two episodes that premiered on Disney Plus. So this series takes place several years after the events of the film. So for those who may be unfamiliar with the film, or if it's been a while since you watched it, at the end of the film, the evil queen Bavmorda is defeated by her daughter Sorsha.
No, it's by Willow.
Sorry, by Willow.
She is defeated by
Can we
Willow
go again?
Elfgood, who uses his disappearing pig trick that's you see in the beginning of the movie. He makes Elora Danan, who's a baby at this point, disappear, and it freaks Bavmorda out.
Why didn't you introduce the episode then?
and she's holding, Bavmorda is holding the wand. I don't remember the sorceress's name, but it's her wand. She knocks over the potion that's supposed to send Elora Danan into another realm, and lightning strikes, and she ends up sending her own soul into the other realm and disappears, and it's happily ever after for everybody.
When we end, can I reshoot the intro?
No.
All right, so as Katie has brilliantly explained, like I said, it's been a long time since I watched
Yeah, because
the film.
Sorsha is going to go and grab for Elora Danan, and Bavmorda, who is her mother, shoves Sorsha using her magic towards a grate of spikes, because she's going to impale her own daughter on spikes for betraying her, and she can't do it, so Sorsha is essentially put unconscious.
Hashtag toxic mother-daughter relationship.
Very, very.
So as Katie has explained, Bavmorda is defeated by Willow and his pig trick. Sorsha marries Mad Mardigan,
Who's my favorite character in the movie.
with whom she has two children. So Princess Kit and Princess Eric.
Prince Eric?
Prince Eric.
You said princess again.
Can we redo this?
We're fine. Keep going.
I want to redo. Okay. I lost my flow now. Okay. So they have two children. Mad Mardigan at the start of the series is MIA. No one exactly knows where he is. They just know that he was tasked with the mission of ensuring the safety of Elora Danan, and who is the future Empress of Tyr Esleen. So she's a very important person, and he was charged with making sure that she was sent someplace safe, but he hasn't really been seen since. So at this point, Queen Sorsha is hoping to forge an alliance with one of the neighboring kingdoms, and she wants to marry her daughter Kit to this kingdom's prince, whose name is Graydon. And I like Graydon. He's a sweetie.
Graydon is dull.
He is dull, but he's also a sweetie. He knows what he wants. He wants to live a quiet, peaceful life.
He's a scholar, not a warrior.
I approve. Okay. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. Okay, so Princess Kit, as you learn, is a very independent person. She has very clear ideas for what her future is going to be, and that doesn't include marriage. She has
not to mention to the fact that this isn't her choice, and it's an arranged marriage.
Yeah, but still. I get the feeling, though, that even if Prince Graydon were, like, the epitome of masculinity, she still wouldn't want to marry him. And I also think that's the case because she's in love with Jade.
Who was also in Solo, a Star Wars story. She was part of the rebels in the desert planet.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I did not know that. Yeah, so she has a thing for Jade, and Jade has a thing for her. And
does she? Was it reciprocated? I mean...
Are we forgetting the nighttime kiss before she's about to flee? And Jade goes, "You're not going anywhere?"
Yeah, because running away is cowardice. That's what she said.
They smooched.
Yeah, they kissed, but they never revisited said kiss.
The smooch means more. So
I don't remember Jade kissing Kit back, but that's besides the point.
she was taken unaware. She was like drowsy from sleep and Kit just want. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Jade also has very clear goals. She wants to become a knight of the realm and prove herself. And Jade is approved. I can't recall, though. I know one of the senior knights goes to Jade and says that she's been accepted, but I forgot what she was accepted into.
She was accepted to train outside of the realm to be a knight of Tyrosleen.
Okay. So Jade has to figure out a way to tell Kit all of this, and she kind of sort of puts it off until she eventually tells her on the night when Queen Sorsha announces that Kit is to be engaged to the prince. Of course, Kit is unhappy with this. She's a little tipsy. She's drunk too much wine, and she makes a spectacle of herself, of the prince, in front of everyone who's assembled. Queen Sorsha berates her, gets mad. Her brother tries to do the brotherly thing and say, I got you, no matter what happens, I won't leave. Kit doesn't want to hear it, and she says, stop talking, you're useless, go away.
I also like Eric more than Kit. I just want to say that.
I definitely do. And he really reminds me, who did he remind me of, like, when I was staring at him?
He reminds me of Mad Mardigan.
Yeah, there was...
I don't know where I've seen him from because he does look familiar, but I can't remember.
He has done a few things. I remember when I looked him up because part of me thought he looks very familiar, but it's nothing I've seen, so, like, even reading it wouldn't... But, yeah, he also does remind me of another actor, too, like... But I think they did do well in casting him because I think he seems like someone who would be Matt Mardigan's son.
Right. You would be very... It's very believable that he would be the offspring of Mad Mardigan.
Yeah. He's very much got his father's swag. He's a ladies' man, one too many ladies. But his heart may be finally captured. We don't know for sure. You still got to watch some more. But, so that night, these weird creatures, not invade. They don't really invade anything.
They attack the castle.
But they attack the castle. They're not invading. I don't know what the creatures are called. They're just very ugly looking. So there's the female character who looks like a harpy.
She's a shapeshifter. She changes into a giant bird.
Yeah, then there's the dude that has the cage on his head, which scared me to death.
But you call him an ogre?
Ogre dude with the cage on his head. Then there's the knight. I'm just going to call him Teeth because all you see are his teeth because his eyes and nose are completely obscured. He reminds me of that, of the guy in the final Lord of the Rings film who announces Sauron's plan. All you see is, like, his teeth. It's in the cut edition. So I'm going to call him Teeth.
And you can just call him Knight.
Knight with the teeth. And then there's the
sorcerer.
The sorcerer that has no eyes. It looks like his face is all scratched and like it wasn't like clay that you haven't molded properly. It was very gross. I had a hard time watching that scene because I just thought, gross. But they kidnapped the prince.
Eric, who, by the way, when they are attacked, firstly, and he goes to grab his sword and does that little flourish with the sword. It's the same exact move that Mad Mardigan does with the sword, I think, with the first fight he has against Bavmorda's knights.
Yeah, I think I saw the scene where they're on the beach and, like, Willow's looking like, oh my god, you can't fight it. Then he, like, collapses afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a nice touch. A nice callback to the fact of who was... So Prince Eric is kidnapped. And Princess Kit, her plans are derailed. She can no longer become footloose and fancy-free. She has to rescue her brother.
But she's more than willing to do.
Yeah, she is. I don't know. I think,
No, I think the problem is that she doesn't believe that Brunhilde, the kitchen maid who Eric was starting to show feelings for, though I don't know how much I can trust how his feelings are true since he is a ladies' man, a womanizer, as it were. But within the ending of the first episode, they get to the village where Willow lives. And Willow meets everybody, and the theme music plays, and I got chills and nostalgia galore, and he discovers that Brunhilde is actually Elora Danan, and Kit frustratingly does not believe that Brunhilde is Elora Danan, which just aggravates me. I can't stand her character.
Yeah, so Princess Kit needs to learn some humility. She needs to learn it's not all about you.
Mm-hmm.
And take a chill pill. That's
Yes.
all I gotta say about Princess Kit.
A really big chill pill.
Yes. Take several chill pills. So yes, so Willow is pleased to discover, like, I have found her. She is the one. Of course, I'm going to call her Muffin Girl. I know that's not her name, but Muffin Girl's, I just like Muffin Girl better.
Her
I'm sorry.
name's Elora Danan.
But I'm going to call her Muffin Girl. That's what I'm going to call her. So Muffin Girl is not convinced. She's like, I can't be the person that you're seeking. I don't have any powers. I'm good at baking and cooking. Which is really good because they're on a quest. So you need someone who has some skill in the kitchen or else they're going to get food poisoning and die or something. So, like, you need that. Lou, back me up. Don't you need that person that can cook very well on an expedition?
Of course.
See, you need the person that can cook. We forgot to mention, though, that accompanying this merry band, so after Prince Eric is kidnapped, Princess Kit, Jade, Prince Graydon, Boorman, who was this dude that was formerly imprisoned, but Queen Sorcia says, I need your help.
You want to know who he reminds me of from the original movie? He reminds me of Mad Mardigan in the way of his attitude.
Yeah.
He's very much like almost a comedy, like the comedic relief, but so much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
It's great.
An older knight of the realm who unfortunately does not make it very long. He dies, arrow to the chest.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, just as an FYI, there will be spoilers galore. So if you haven't watched any of these episodes, turn away now. There will be spoilers.
Yes.
Like I said, the night does not last very long. In a scene which I found rather comical. I know it's not supposed to be comical. He gets shot through the chest with an arrow. They are pursued by these wild people wearing skulls. An attempt on pillaging.
They're called Bone Men.
Bone Men. Attempt on pillaging, but they manage to get away. And they meet Willow. Willow says, yep, Muffin Girl, you are the one, and I'm going to call her Muffin. Sorry, Elora Danan. You are the one, because he recognizes her by a mark that's on her, the inner part of her arm.
It's her birthmark. It's how Bavmorda was able to tell that she was going to be the one that would destroy her in the original movie.
So that's how the first episode concludes, with the reveal that Dove, the servant girl, is Elora Danan. So that's how the first episode ended, with that sort of reveal of who she truly is. And episode 2 is a direct follow-up to that revelation. And Willow explains who she is, her role in sort of bringing things sort of...
It's like she is the power that's supposed to bring everything back to balance, because everything's kind of out of balance.
Yeah, and Willow is actually one of the only real sort of, they don't call them mages. Sorcerers left, right? There really are no others.
Yeah, both the fairy queen that we see in the original movie and the sorceress have gone away. They've vanished. Though I think that's mostly because the actresses who played both of those characters, either they passed away in real life or they're no longer acting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and Willow explains this. He tries to give Elora Danan a quick history lesson about everything that's gone on. The fact that he was sort of willing when she was very young to sort of take her away. There's a flashback scene where Willow sees Elora near a fountain, and he does try to take her away because he believes that she's not safe being in the kingdom. Queen Sorcia sees him and confronts him about it. And Willow essentially says, I wash my hands of you. Whatever you want to do with her is your problem. Mm-hmm. So Willow's also dealing with that guilt of not necessarily being involved in Elora's magical education, because Elora has the power, but she's just unable to tap into that power because she has not received any training.
Right, and we see that her ability actually works I can't remember if it's before or after she's captured by Valentine, who in the first episode was touched.
It's after.
It's after.
Mm-hmm.
Because Valentine who's one of the senior knights at the castle, who's trained Jade, who actually got Jade the commission to go, or the I think it was, or the promotion to go and train with the knights to become a knight. He was touched by the evil sorcerer's staff, and a spell was cast, and now he's like their servant.
He's essentially a puppet, and they are the puppet masters pulling the strings.
They are. It'd be interesting to know that maybe Bavmorda is coming back. That maybe those are her servants.
I'm pretty sure, especially when the warlock or the wizard dude with the messed up face, when he is sort of in the cave and he hears that voice. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Bavmorda's voice.
It sounded like her.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're just speculating.
Because one would assume that the ultimate goal of that trio or that band of misfits is to bring Bavmorda back and sort of reclaim all the lands and bring darkness back to the world. And there is a moment where the warlock, I'm going to call him a warlock, it's easier for me. The warlock character is in a cave and he's communicating with this entity, and the voice does sound like Bavmorda's voice. So I'm going to assume that's whom he's speaking with. And she basically is the one who alerts him to the fact that Elora Danan has been found. And that's why they send out their puppet knight to get her. And meanwhile, like there's multiple things happening. There's multiple parties involved, all trying to get to this one individual, Elora. So she's wanted by both sides, but not for the same reason. So Willow, there was that funny scene where Willow's trying to teach her the old language, and she's going, like the way she's like trying to enunciate.
Enunciate and pronounce the words
You're
correctly.
saying it wrong, and everyone else is just watching, like, oh my god, like this is a disaster.
Yeah,
that was one of the funny moments. I did like it because she's like, she's just trying, like sticking her tongue out. It's really funny. But Elora's trying to master the magical words. She's trying to essentially, Willow gives her this seed. And she's trying to make the seed sprout and, blossom and, make fruit or whatnot. And she's getting very frustrated. I did like how Graydon has that moment with Elora. I thought it was really nice because he's also someone that suffers from being under the weight of particular expectations because he is a prince of a neighboring kingdom. He's the polar opposite of his father, who's like what you would think of as the classical kind of king.
Yeah.
And Graydon is very much, he's more intellectual, he's more thoughtful.
As I said, he is the scholar, not the warrior.
But he is very insightful because while like Princess Kid is busy being frustrated that Elora is like hashtag useless, and then Jade is trying to like make Kit not run away or be angry at her, and the gentleman Borman, I don't really know what his whole investment is in this thing. He's just there to probably live his best life.
Well, he has information about Mad Mardigan and whether or not he disappeared or was killed, or because he was trying to find the crimson armor. I think it was called the Crimson Armor. It's a magical armor, but he went out to find it and he never returned.
Yes.
So he has that information.
So they're sort of all doing their own thing, and Graydon has a very nice moment where he tells Elora, that she has the power. She also needs confidence in herself, and that he is more than willing to assist her. And I'm glad that she didn't tell him, like, oh, that's nice, bye-bye. Because, like, he is truly, I think, one of the few people that is genuinely interested in making sure that she's in a good place and that she's not being stressed out over this. Because it is a big revelation. Like, you go from thinking you're the average, like, servant girl. Nope, you're a princess, and this is your epic destiny. And you better learn this magic. Sorry?
That is so unprofessional.
I am sorry.
And she checks it.
I was silencing it. I was putting it on vibrate.
Unbelievable. She's supposed to be the professional in the room. Unbelievable.
Don't listen to him, Simona.
I will try not to.
You do you.
Take it from the top.
So So she has this sort of burden of she's trying to rescue the man that she has fallen in love with, and she's unsure whether she'll be able to accomplish that. Her entire identity has sort of gone to pot. He's like, who I thought I was is I'm not really that person.
It's like almost like a paradigm shift.
Yeah, and
that
now
she's
she has to
going
learn
through.
magic.
Yeah.
And she's doing it without the benefit of what most people would go through, like the basic sort of steps that you need in order to access your powers.
It's like you got to know this, you got to know it now. Trouble is coming. We
Yes.
don't have time to go slow and steady.
Yes. And Willow, like, when he has his moments when he talks to his other companion who came with him from his village, he admits that he failed Allura in that he allowed his anger and resentment to sort of make him leave and not teach her as he should have. So Willow is aware of how he kind of failed Allura, but he's trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
And the episode ends, of course, with Allura being knocked out and kidnapped.
By Valentine.
But you see that the seed that she's been working on does sprout and it bears fruit. So she does have magic, because that was one of the fears, too, that she probably had no magic. But that proves that she does have magic.
Yep.
And that there is the potential for her to learn quickly, adapt, and do whatever she needs to do.
And I don't know about you, but when I found out that Brunhilde, who's also Dove, who's also Muffin Girl, it's her real name, by the way, she finds out that she's Allura Dannon, I freaked out. I was like, what? Really? No. This is cool.
I had the opposite reaction.
I know you did.
I know. I feel like So now that we've given you the recap of episodes 1 to 2, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I felt about this series in the first 2 episodes. So I kind of would have liked the revelation of Brunhilde and who she truly is to maybe have happened a little later. It's kind of like, sometimes I feel like the show does the things too quickly. Like there's really zero time to process this information. And maybe the whole goal is, while these people are sort of on this quest, you're sort of processing it as they are, which probably could be what the writers are going for. But I kind of would have liked for them to have been more of like, because I know one time you mentioned that you thought maybe Jade.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of would have been nice if perhaps they would have teased, oh, maybe Jade could be Allura Dannon. You know, I kind of wish they would have saved, like, not that the reveal has to be, like, 4 episodes later, but maybe kept the audience guessing, like, could it be her? Could it be Jade? That probably would have worked better for me. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about that revelation. I think it would have worked better if we would have been left guessing, so the audience has to try to figure out, is this a mislead? Oh, could she really be? Or maybe introduce another character who comes in, like, when they have, like, the mysterious character, like, where did so-and-so come from? And, like, so that Willow also is conflicted as well, like, do I have the correct person? Could I be mistaken entirely? Because maybe that would have added a bit more conflict. But, like, little by little subtle hints come out, and you feel like, oh, of course. Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of feel. Maybe that it could have been saved and done in a different way.
See, now, and I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because stuff like that frustrates and annoys the hell out of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I feel this, and it's not only just in, like, TV shows and movies and whatnot. I feel that way with books as well.
Oh, I see.
I like when a character discovers that they're not the person that they are, or they have this magical ability right off the get-go, because then you get to go through the frustrations and the emotions and then the growing and the learning with the character. I find that to be a much more engaging story than this whole, like, guessing who it is, who it isn't, and all this other stuff.
So, quick question then.
Sure.
How did you feel about Rey from the Star Wars franchise?
I was
like the reveal about her parentage, like
I was frustrated.
Okay.
I was frustrated with it. On the one hand, I thought, oh wow, this is really cool. But on the other hand, I was like, that could have been revealed a lot sooner, and then we could have gotten more of a story plot going.
I guess it depends how it's done.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I think there probably are examples of where the reveal doesn't happen right away, but the way it's the build up to it
Right.
is probably done well, that you feel like, oh, like it's sort of like there's a better payoff.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it depends how it's done.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think a really good later reveal is when I first saw Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and we're all thinking that Snape is the one who's,
yes.
like, trying to off Harry, when really it's Professor Quill. And granted, yes, I read the book, so I knew what was going to happen, but just the way they had taken it and revealed it was like, oh.
So here's another question. As you mentioned Harry Potter, how did you, like, I don't know if before the 7th book came out, I remember, and this was, I think, at the time where Borders was still around, they had a little bookmark written up because people were debating whether Snape was truly on Dumbledore's side or whether he was like just playing it, like. And there was like the pros, like Snape is good, and there was all the reasons for it. Snape is bad, and they were all like, how did you feel about the ultimate reveal that Snape, he was sort of a double agent, but ultimately he was working towards the right side and not like, did you feel that sort of slow burn?
That was a good slow burn.
Okay.
Because you didn't really know where his loyalties lay.
Okay.
And you have this whole history between him and James Potter, Harry's father, and knowing that he was bullied by James, and with all that trauma comes with a distaste for any offspring that comes from that person. So to see how it all came together, how like he was the one who sent Lily's Patronus to the lake where the sword lay, where I was floored. It was a great reveal. But with the way that had happened, there was no real guessing. Like, they didn't throw out any curveballs to try and keep you guessing, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's just like there was... Yes, you saw in the Goblet of Fire the meeting between him and the headmaster of the all-boys school meeting, and you see the headmaster's arm and the tattoo, and it's like, well, that's more of a look at Snape's past. Okay. It doesn't really, like, swing me either way of, like, what's going on. It's more of, like, that cat and mouse guessing that I really don't like.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, and let us know how you feel about the reveal. Like just how, like, do you think the reveal was, like, done at, like, the right time? Just, like, your general thoughts, like, how you feel about that moment.
And it also could indicate, too, that they're probably just doing one season. They may not have multiple seasons already for this.
Probably. And I think when I was trying to look ahead, I think they have 8 episodes planned. So, yeah, it could be... I mean, a part of me kind of feels, though, like, well, I guess it depends how they write it. I don't think it's going to be one season. I kind of feel like it's going to be more than one, but I could be wrong. I guess it depends on if you know you're planning more seasons, then maybe that could be drawn out a bit more, versus if it's strictly going to be, it's 8 episodes and that's the end of it, then the reveal makes more sense because you don't have as much time to sort of waste with that sort of is she isn't. So I guess it depends what they're trying to do. The other thing, and I've spoken to Katie about this before, was the moment when the older knight, who is very close with Prince Eric, who's the one who volunteers because he says, like, I've known the prince since he was a small boy, I am going to find him. They're out in this open field, and he's saying, you know, we cannot afford to dally because danger lurks around every corner. I'm paraphrasing. And all of a sudden, you see this arrow protrude from his chest. He goes, oh. And then he falls off the horse, and they just start galloping, you know, towards safety, and they're being pursued, and then they eventually reach Willow's village. And I understand in the heat of the moment, you need to get out, you need to escape, whatever. But I kind of would have wanted a moment, like, you know, raise a glass to Knight so-and-so. I can't remember his name. But he was a part of your lives. Just like a small acknowledgement that you've lost someone that was of some importance to you. But that's a minor thing. I'm probably the only one that even cared about that. But when I watched that scene, I was like, oh my God, it was like so startling. And I was like, that's it? But that could just be me. I admit it. I am focusing on things that have no importance. Life must go on. But a part of me kind of feels like just a razor. Lou, what are you?
He's not paying attention. He doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I agree. 100%.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Producer Lou. I feel like I haven't said it in a long time. Producer Lou. Oh, Producer Lou. I haven't said that in a long time. But anyway, that's probably more just me. That was just a minor gripe. It wasn't like I was disturbed for no. It was just a minor thing that I thought, okay, maybe that could have been addressed better.
I don't know. I didn't think about it afterwards.
It's like I said, it's just me. It's the things that I think about. And let me see. And like another thing, and I don't know whether it's just the style. I don't know. Warwick's acting. Like at a certain point, it's kind of like he's just saying the lines, not feeling them. Like, and I don't know whether like that could improve. Like maybe it was like the first 2 episodes were bleh, but like at a certain point I was like, you gotta make me feel like you believe it. And I know you said that's kind of how he was even in the film. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's just his style. But he probably was like that in Leprechaun. I have no idea. It could just be his acting style. Although he was in Harry Potter.
Yeah, but he wasn't the principal role.
But I felt like he really felt that role.
He had a few lines, Simona.
But like,
he was Professor Flitwick.
I thought he was playing another. He was Flitwick?
Yes, he was.
I thought he was one of the other guys. Anyway, as Flitwick though, but you cannot tell me that you didn't think he feels that. Like he is Flitwick.
No.
Lou. Professor Flitwick.
You're being put on the spot, Lou.
Flitwick.
You don't have to answer. It's okay.
Flitwick.
Did you feel like that he was feeling that role? Like Warwick was like, I am.
Definitely
not.
Anywho, that was my other thing, where it kind of felt like he was just saying the lines, not really feeling the lines, like not really embodying Willow. But anyway. So I am curious where this is, whether this will be a single season. I guess it depends on.
Also, there was a big hint that Brunhilde could be a Laura Dannon because she went through the barrier, and nobody as powerful but a Laura Dannon could actually go through the barrier. Everyone else went through a gate where the barrier was.
She physically went through.
She physically went through the barrier.
Okay. Could also have been that she could have been working with the bad side.
You just want to be contrary, Simona. Stop it.
That could be it.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like, and I understand because I've definitely watched things where after a while it's like, okay, enough, just let us know, is this person, because I think it depends on how it's done. I've definitely seen things where it's like, it's a slow burn and the real is like, oh my God, that was unexpected. And there are other things where it's like, okay, we know already who this person is, just freaking say it and like get on with just move on. So it all depends. Like if this is just going to solely be a one-shot deal, then yes, they have to reveal it early on because she has to learn her magic. Although like the way Willow, it seems as if magic learning is not that easy. I think a part of it you have to already have something in you, but the way I understood it too is that you also have to sort of work to build it up.
Yeah.
So is it going to be almost like, I'm going back to Rey, how it's like it was innate that she didn't really have to learn too much. She sort of is like, almost like Luke Skywalker that took to it instantly, kind of a deal.
Laura Dannon's also was predicted to be the most powerful sorceress to ever live, which is why Bavmorda wanted to destroy her in the first place. So one would assume that she herself would have an innate ability anyway.
Was she cloaked? Like, was her identity cloaked, or was it the fact that she physically passed through the barrier that alerted Bavmorda? Like, how was she able to sort of remain under the radar for so long? Like, did she have magic cloaking her?
Well, her birthmark was magically concealed. Her birthmark didn't appear until after Willow had made it appear. And Sorsha in the beginning of the very first episode, when she was narrating, said that she had hidden Elora Danan in plain sight.
Okay.
And so, because they didn't like draw attention to the fact that she was Elora Danan, I think is what ultimately hit her. But also like the magically hiding her birthmark.
And I think it's so funny. I don't know if it was Amanda who had an issue, because in the original film, the baby has red hair.
Yeah, she does.
Amanda was like, she's a redhead. They made her blonde.
Well, also Amanda is a redhead. So,
True.
And they covered that they had dyed her hair blonde. So she is supposed to have red hair, but they had dyed her hair blonde.
Honestly, it's been a while, so like that part didn't bother me all that much. I have no stake in that game, like redhead, blonde.
They still explained the blonde hair.
Yeah, but maybe eventually, like her natural red light. Maybe when she comes into her power, it'll be like almost like Willow. When Willow becomes good again, her hair becomes pure white for a brief moment. Maybe the red hair will come back.
Maybe
when she unlocks her power.
We'll have to keep watching to find out.
We will, and we definitely will be discussing this further, because, like I said, episode 2 ended with her getting knocked out and kidnapped. Like, sometimes the way, like, these people sustain these, like, hits to the head, like, how does anyone function?
It's a magical realm, Simona, and it's fiction.
I am just saying. So yeah, any like other thoughts?
I'm really enjoying this series. The first 2 episodes really kept me engaged. Nothing really took me out of the story. And I really like that, like being immersed into a story, especially if it's a fantasy-based story. I had nostalgia bomb galore, especially when Willow walked in scene and you had the Willow theme playing in the background. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think and I can't wait to watch the other 2 episodes.
Yeah, so let us know how you're feeling about this series. Let us know if you are someone who has watched the original, or if you're someone who's just coming into the universe. Like, we love to read your comments. We really encourage that you leave them. And we will be discussing episodes 3 and 4 for the next recording. So thank you again for joining us. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.